Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia. Welcome back to Season 4 of our Subscribers Game Tournament as we continue here in Round 1 action in Group D. And for our third match, we have Zhonglee in the green versus Storm's End in the red. And looking at the compositions here, we have Zhonglee bringing a full cavalry comp for himself after facing one in his last match. And we have Lu Bu, Liu Chong, and Xu Chu. And the cavalry in questions here are the Chen Peacekeeper with their ranged crossbow capabilities. And then we have 3 of the heavy Tiger and Leopard cavalry to round out the composition. Now the generals are very strong, with Lu Bu obviously being able to stop enemy charges, which can create even more kiting potential for the comp. Liu Chong with the infinite show of force, and Xu Chu just being a very strong general that can even protect the other 2 generals from damage. Now, for Storm's End, he's bringing a composition of all infantry, so this is going to be a nightmare matchup for him, as he can't catch up to this potential full kiting comp with the crossbows. And for him, he has generals in Zhangbao, Shamoke, who I believe is making his first appearance in the tournament, and Heman. So a lot of Yellow Turban units. We have 1 Yaogui Hunter to provide some vision, maybe a little poison arrow, but I don't think they will do much to slow down these cavalry. That's the only range option here. A few unbreakable units, and a few pretty powerful Nenman infantry to boot on Shamoke. A couple of range ability from Heman. I believe Shamoke also has a bow, and we'll see if they play a factor in this, as this will be a pretty painful battle for Storm's End, just looking at the composition. Of course, Zhonglee could charge the cavalry in, as we saw in the last battle when used by Sterling Inquisitor, but we're only going to know once we jump into battle. Now, as we load into the replay, we can see from the game time, this one's going to be a full kiting comp, and I feel kind of bad for Storm's End for what's in store for him if things goes according to how I think it will go, as we'll have this army kiting forever. Now, both sides deployed pretty standard. They kept the units together, so nothing too crazy here. Yaogui Hunter can stay hidden, and they can scout out vision in the forest, so they're placed slightly in the front. And Heman has a range ability, so perhaps he can find some good targets. Now, unfortunately, with this composition, there are no good targets. Even the Tiger and Leopard have a decent amount of range block chance and armor to not get killed off by the hail of arrow. And of course, timely usage of the stone board can also help with that as well. So let's see how this goes. I think the key with these compositions is just don't greed. Keeping 1 cavalry here is to protect the generals in case they get rushed by a lot of cavalry, that way they can peel for them. But in this case, with no cavalry on this side, that is definitely going to be an issue. I think the best thing they can do is just hide in the forest. Alright, if I'm playing this comp and I'm running into this, I'm just hiding in the trees, forcing the cavalry to come charge me. Because if I stay in the open, they will just shoot me until they run out of ammo. And unfortunately, Yellow Sky Heralds, no shield. Might of the Valley, no shield. Zealots of the Way, 35% range block chance, but no shield. They're just flexible. Kind of like the Pearl Dragons, in a sense, and Protectors. They have a decent amount of range block chance even though they don't have a shield. Chanters, no shield. This is just a terrible comp to run into. I would not lay my army out in the open like this. Oh, we got a show of force, and it hit its target. They're going after generals, and actually pierced through to the second general. Wow, what a line! So it hit both, and killed a couple chanters along the way as well, because it is piercing. About 2k health gone here, about 3k health gone here. Shamoke doesn't have a lot of health. He's not a common choice. This is a reason why first time we're seeing him in the tournament. He does have good infantry, but in this battle, infantry is not going to mean very much. Yeah, in this type of battle for Storm's End, I think for most players, when faced with this dilemma, you might want to charge. Like, there's 2 ways you can do this charge. Ooh, they got too bored and they start throwing stuff at buildings. They have the Unruly or the Raider trait. You can either try to create a long enough infantry line to kind of shoo the enemy into a corner of the map so they have less room to kite you, and it'd be more difficult for them to run out in the huge group to kite you, and you hope to catch a couple of them off. but it would still come at a pretty heavy cost for your units, as you know they're still going to be shooting at you as you do that. The other choice is to, you know, move your units towards the generals and then move your generals. Okay, so they're trying to do the invisible charge, but it's kind of pretty obvious where they're going. And then move the generals there to force the cavalry to come protect the generals, or at least force the general to go away, in that sense that you don't get just kited and shot by Dochong's ability forever. That also is very painful. There's not a good target for Hail of Arrows, not even the generals. I mean, Shuch will be the best target because he has low armor, or else this has 75% armor, this has 80% armor, some of the highest armor in the game. You also can't really dismount to fight because the cavalry just run you over if that's the case, but maybe that's the bait. Maybe the bait is all three of them dismount to fight and then get all the infantry up. So the infantry is currently invisible, which is why they're kind of falling for it. The poison arrow, poison is also not good against cavalry. Okay, we got it encounter here at least, but I'm pretty sure Zhonglee is just gonna pull his generals away. There's no reason to stay at all. Like, don't even get baited by the chance to do some damage on Shamoke. It's just not worth it. The goal right now is just to pull away from these infantry. Even if you want to hit him a couple of times, just wait till you have distance on the infantry. Maybe they can get one cavalry. Just pulling really hard. Maybe they'll lose a couple guys, but I doubt it. Pretty high armor on these guys. Oh, here comes the Chen Peacekeepers. Seems like the Zealots will only been set because they counter cavalry, but the rest of them are not being used. Why wedge? You're slowing yourself for no reason. Doesn't provide them any meaningful bonus that they're going to do. They're just going to be shooting. I'm going to play this on 2x speed because I have a suspicion that there's not going to be any direct encounters by either side. Yeah, the wedge is just a terrible idea. A couple arrow shots, no big deal. Another show of force. Wow, it found its target again. And it pierced? I think he lost a little bit. Mainly hit Heman. It hit Heman really hard. Heman lost a lot of health on that one. The thing about Show of Force is there is so much room for mistakes. You can miss a few, but the minute you hit one on a very vulnerable target, you won the trade. Is the whole army trying to hide? Yes, I think they are. I think that's the only way to do this. You then become a battle of who has more patience, you know, who might make a few mistakes. It's really annoying, but then, you know, you end up in this comp, what can you do? Well, apparently you can get shot by more Show of Force and lose another 2k health there. Yeah, Dochong has all the time in the world. This is like a dream scenario. Not trying to get invisibility, but then you can't really do anything with that. This is just spacing. It's not even kiting, this is just spacing. I mean, considering this was a blind pick, this is just the dangers of going one extreme. But to be honest, an all-infantry army like this is just a bad decision overall. You lose to cavalry, full cavalry, you lose to majority cavalry, you lose to elephants. You might even lose to like someone who bring 2 elephants and Mulu. So, like, what are you beating with this comp? You're beating another mass infantry comp. And then even in that case, you're kind of competing to see whose infantry are better. And better used, of course. And then general abilities, you run to, you know, Flame the Phoenix, you run to the situation we saw with, you know, Sun Jian getting 600 kills on himself. There's just not a lot of flexibility with a pure infantry comp. Majority infantry is fine. You mix it in with a couple cavalry. That works. We've seen that work. There's just no initiative on this side. Now they're hiding the generals because they don't want to get hit by more show of force, but whatever unit becomes visible, show of force can just try to hit. We'll see if there's... Yeah, there's just hit something, right? You have the cooldown ability off. They hit the chanter. Unfortunately, even if Heman comes up, there's not a lot of good targets, and there's no openings. Infantry is going to try to engage. They're going to basically get shot up till here, and then cavalry's going to run away. That's my prediction. Okay, they saved their ability so they can use it all together. Speed boost. What about surprise attack? Ooh, Lu Bu got greedy. Lu Bu went to go use Dragon's Gaze. I don't think this is needed, but he got out. He got out pretty easily. Because once again, there's no cavalry to even punish the generals. I think back in Season 1, I compare cavalry to like basically like an air force in modern army terms. Like if you control the cavalry fight, you basically have support for your generals, support for your infantry, and you get to dictate the term of the fight, which is exactly what's happening here. They're basically like bombers and fighters. They get to shoot you, you never get to shoot back. And that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, this surprise attack was the important part. I guess he was saving it until he was closer, but then he probably didn't want to use the movement one until that happened too. What can they do? I don't know what can they do. Why chase this one in particular? Well, see, this is a proper use of Lu Bu, where he's strong and you know he's strong, and just have him chase another general. And if they don't fight back, you just kill them. Okay, they created an opportunity where they actually got their infantry up. But will the cavalry be stopped? Alright, Lu Bu's going there to do a slam ability here. And Lu Bu get out. Still kiting for a few shots. Oh, they overcommit. They committed everything on Lu Bu. They actually needed to engage the cavalry to stop them from running away. Like, if they're this close, they should have just been one each on the cavalry and hopefully draw a delay. But even in this case, you can see they only delayed a few units. Friendly fire, boss. Still got a few hits in, but the piercing obviously killed a few of the cavalry. Yeah, they're just committed to kiting. Frustration hail of arrows just doesn't do anything against melee cav. I mean, I understand Storm End's frustration because there's nothing his army can do. Lighting up doesn't do you any good. Just keep running. Keep running. Well, I mean, as long as you're chasing in the sense they can't stop to shoot you. Because, I mean, you can see their range. It's not a 360 range. They can only shoot from the front because they're crossbow, not bow. So if you consistently chase, like have one unit on each of them and just chase till the end of the game, maybe you catch up to a few that doesn't get microed properly. The longer this drags out, the more show of force is coming, and the more show of force land, the worse the general trade is going to be. Fortunately, two of them are unbreakable. Heman's the one that's not. Chasing the generals? I don't think that's wrong, because the general can kite this comp. I mean, everything can kite this comp. That's the problem about this comp. Okay, the movement is gonna help. Lu Bu's getting too greedy. I don't think Lu Bu should be going for these trades. There's no reason to do this and risk taking damage. Like, I think maybe the one way out for Storm's End is to have these three generals go attack one of the Chen Peacekeepers and force, you know, Zhonglee to maybe command the cavalry to fight back, and then the infantry can maybe close in. But even then, it's not a solution. You know, it's just like desperation attempt. There's not much else you can do. And if you can kill off a few, you kill off a few. Because if they just want to run, then you can use speed to kind of catch up. This is the only thing with speed. Like, they might as well go attack them and force them to show up in a fight. I don't know, I think lining up in the open, like, they traded spaces. Ooh. Okay, they're moving, but you can see the piercing is probably going to get a couple other targets, just randomly. People's coming in again. Okay, we have surprise attack used again. There's a damage boost on it. Okay, they got a couple hits. Actually a good time to maybe use Hell Arrow on Xu Fu. They're shooting now. Oh, Miss Micro? They issued a charge command? This is a chance! Go fight! No, what is this? This was a mistake. They gotta punish. This is your one chance to... Okay, they realize it now. But they also they both realized they were making a mistake at the same time. So I guess that was a nothing trade. Oh, but while they were microing, did that get disrupted? Why only one shot? Usually it's 4. They probably had melee attack on, and he right click. He wanted to probably shoot them. But that was a major misplay, and they should have punished. Yeah, they're trying to kill off the one unit that can really threaten them, which is Zealots of the Way. That's the only spear in the group. Why not charge them? I mean, what's good about sitting here? Well, here it comes. Oh, they're moving, they canceled, okay. Here we go. Ooh, that hit, but... Okay, so he was targeting He Man and accidentally hit Jump Ball because of the way they were moving. Looking for Hail Arrow, maybe? I mean, this would be the opening where he doesn't have Show Force. Oh, not gonna be too bad because they're turned away, so the 45% shield actually is facing the wrong way, so 0% when they do get hit. But I don't think these are the problem right now. These are the problem. Oh, got one hit. I mean, the way these are lined up is also kind of terrible. They're lined kind of vertically, where most of the cavalry in the back are not shooting. They need to be more flat. Alright, temporary invisibility. At least the Wu's not being sent in again. That's just not worth it. You can do that near the end when you're more desperate. Okay, maybe Storm Sense figured out. He's got to chase these guys. Yeah, that's the play. They're not going to stay and fight you. And if they do, get the guys close. Yeah, you force them to do this, and then you get your guys coming over here. Because that command's going to carry over. They're going to trail, and then they're going to be charging the wrong thing, and then you charge them, and they have to scramble. Exactly. That's the play. Now the question is how many times you can repeat that before they run out of health, because they already took a lot of damage. Alright, pulling them in multiple directions. Oh, another really good sneaky. Too much damage. Although there is a morale factor that should bounce back, but still, he might not get a chance because the cavalry could just go commit on him. Okay, they're using the general to counter that, just to escort them out of the way. These two are unbreakable, so that would be a little bit iffy. Yeah, he bounces back. The cavalry should have been sent a little bit earlier. There are actually some openings now. Like this side is kind of weak to cavalry. They could just get the opening to shoot. They're facing the wrong way, as you can see. Not getting micro. They're focused on other things. Like these are all openings that needs to be seized, but it takes a lot of micro. You have to send units all over the place. Okay, dragged Heman so that they got dragged through. That's the type of command and mistakes that you have to go for. But then when this happens, they don't need to come back. They can just keep chasing. Don't. I think that's hotkeyed. Right, they already closed some distance. Coming back now is not smart. I mean, they're now we don't want to group two. We don't want to give him a better charge. Okay, so he's used his Dragon's Gaze, and at least he didn't reposition himself to do a stronger hit. They got a good chase here. Most of the spear died. Right, you clearly see that the enemy will respond to your generals killing the cav, and they are killing the cav. They should have done this way earlier. And then when they do respawn, you get your unit to intercept the cavalry that's making a bad pathing instead of coming to join the fight, because they're not impacting this fight. Just intercept each of the cavalry who are targeting your generals. And there goes a couple of those cavalry. Question is, it's just happening a little bit late. Okay, now he's targeting units, which I guess is fine because they're fighting together and there might be friendly fire. We got the dismount. Not unbreakable. So army loss might kick in for them. Might. I mean, depends on if the cavalry get killed or not. Dismounted all three generals. I think they're also hotkeyed because there's no reason why they need to dismount. Is he close to his horse? No. Is this going to be a comeback? Okay, okay. Alright, we got a good trade. Can we trade back on the other general? With the units' help, maybe match combat will be a thing. And they might be able to kill off Suchu here. Suchu activated his roar. His damage is insane. Oh, he got killed. Okay. It's just Lu Bu now. I can't believe it. Is this a comeback? This is a comeback. Wow, what a misplay. I'm stunned. So obviously the solution is to commit the generals toward the cavalry, like I kind of mentioned, and then force misplays. But the serious misplay actually is the mass dismount. I think what happened is that Zhonglee had all three of his generals hotkeyed to the same group. he group selected even though they were in 3 different spots, and then he hit dismount on all 3 of them, trying to get Shuchul to dismount to join the fight. But then the other 2 got dismounted and got tangled up in different places, and then we had 2 generals that were dismounted fighting 1, and then they were able to kill 1, they kill 1, and then kill 1 with the help of their infantry, which now had the initiative because no one can kite anymore. If there was a little bit more patience, all he had to do for Zhonglee here with that comp when they do chase you is just to run away together with all your cavalry. And especially when Heman was down already, they could have easily kited back farther away from the infantry, and they kept chasing, then you just hit them back, right? But they were separated because they were doing a lot of really wide kiting, and that backfired. I still can't believe that Storm's End turned this one around. That was very impressive, and super long match to just end up losing with the kiting comp. And I guess that's how this one turned out. So I'm still in shock, but very exciting fight. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And we'll come back tomorrow with the remaining 3 matches in Group C. So until then, bye!